Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday, April 19th, 2023. It is 6:47 in the morning. Okay, this is part 21, chapter 1, Belief in the Soul, the Complete Book of Ghosts, Ghost Ships. Ghost ships. Such incidents are often attributed to echoes in the ether, but there have been many cases where ghosts have actively intervened to save the living. In 1949, the captain of the passenger liner Port Pirie was on shore in Sydney, Australia, awaiting orders while the crew were giving the ship a last look over in preparation for their next voyage. One of the engineers filled the boiler and turned the pumps off when the gauge indicated that the boiler was full. But as he walked away, the pumps started up by themselves. After double-checking the gauge, he turned the pumps off again and turned away. But again, the pumps turned themselves back on. Now that his curiosity had been aroused, he stripped down the boiler and gave it a thorough overhaul. He discovered that the gauge was faulty and had been registering that the boiler was full when it was almost empty. Had the ship been allowed to sail with this fault undetected, it could have resulted in a fatal explosion at sea with the loss of all hands. When the engineer told his crewmates about this, one of them remembered that it had happened before. The ship's first chief engineer had been killed over the boiler had run dry and blown up. With his last breath, he had vowed that he would never let it happen again. Could he have been responsible for turning the boiler pump back on to warn his successor of the potentially fatal fault? A similar story surrounds the sinking of the sailing ship that Pamir, which went down in the Atlantic in 1957 with very few survivors. Since then, this modern Flying Dutchman has been sighted by several ships in distress whose crews reported being saved from certain death by the phantom ship. Although the Pamir does not appear to have taken an active part in the rescue of the stricken ships, the grateful survivors swear that it exerted a mysterious force which pulled them out of a squall into calmer seas while remaining unaffected by the bad weather itself. Such seamen's stories may have seemed far-fetched, but it was worth noting that the rescued seaman mentioned that one of the Phantom's ship's crew could clearly be seen with his arms in a sling, a fact that was only later confirmed by one of the Pamir's surviving crew members. An interesting footnote to a Pamir case is that every time it has been sighted, its crew are fewer in number, suggesting that with every rescue, the curse is lifted for one or more of its doomed sailors. And there's a picture of a ship. Under the picture it says, Ghost Ship, the Pamir. Grateful survivors swear it exerted a mysterious force which pulled them into calmer seas. So that's all for part 21, chapter 1, Belief in the Soul, the Complete Book of Ghosts. Thank you for watching.